freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, Dan and Cheryl Todd here from Gun Freedom Radio, coming to you from the 2026 SHOT Show in
fabulous Las Vegas.
And it would not be a SHOT Show if we did not connect with our awesome friend, Larry Zanoff. This has become a tradition.
It has, hasn't it?
It really.
Fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Larry Zanoff, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know, he is the co-host of Hollywood Weapons, Fact or Fiction on the Outdoor Channel, and now you can even find it on Hulu and Amazon and Tubi. He's also the subject matter expert on gun stories with Joe Mantegna. And his real job, day job is with the Weapons Department of Independent Studio Services Props. That's ISS, the largest rental armory in the film and television industry, providing custom weapons and manufacturing, actor training, and on-set armor services with safety and training as the key components, right?
Always. Safety always comes first.
Did you underline key component? Underline that.
I'm telling you. So Dan has actually been on a set with Larry.
We have, haven't we?
And Larry went from the happy, smiley guy to all business, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes. And yes and yes. It's like...
Because that is how important it is. And we have some examples, sadly, tragically, of when things don't quite go exactly
for sure.
All business.
Safety is the number one key guiding light on any movie set or television set, not just with firearms, but with all the equipment. I mean, you've got condors and cranes and all kinds of heavy equipment moving around. If you're not kind of keyed into that, it would be like kind of wandering around the deck of an aircraft carrier and not really knowing what you're supposed to be doing there. So safety definitely guides us through every project.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we are grateful for it, because all it takes is somebody not doing the best thing or the right thing with a firearm, whether it's on a movie set or otherwise, when, people feel like somebody ought to throw another law on the books. And, with all my advocacy, I'm like, we need no more laws, right? We do need more safety and more training. And so we very much value and appreciate what you bring to that field.
Well, thank you.
But I did love that when Danny was like, I don't mess with Larry on a on a set.
I have to, Larry, what have you been doing? I mean, tell me some of the movies.
Oh my goodness. So this last year has been really hectic for us. And the public viewing the shows and everything, they're going to start seeing this stuff coming out now, right? Because there's always like this time capsule time delay thing. We're working on it, but you guys won't see it for another year or so. So we've got a whole slew of new shows that are out there. We've built all the custom guns for Fallout, which has been a hugely popular sci-fi type show. You've got the whole Taylor Sheridan universe. So we've got Y Marshals, and we've got Lioness, and we've got Landman, all those props, not just the firearms, but all the props from, that you see on screen are all coming from ISS and everything. On top of that, we've got our mainstays, the NCIS's. Criminal Minds might actually be coming back for a 20th season. That's a huge landmark in the industry. Only some shows like Bonanza and things like that have actually gotten to that kind of mark in the industry. So very, very exciting year as far as new episodic stuff coming out. And then hopefully maybe by summertime, if not then by Christmas of 2026, I just finished up working on a project called Alone at Dawn. If you haven't heard of it, go out and read the book. It was written by Dan Schilling, same person who wrote the book Black Hawk Down.
Oh, okay.
And this is another military story that he kind of wound up being involved in and ultimately led to a Congressional Medal of Honor being awarded to Airman John Chapman. And so this is going to be the story about what he did during the 2002 operation in Afghanistan and the aftermath of him getting his medal awarded. There's actually some very nice displays at Lackland Air Force Base at the Airmen Museum, as well as at the new Congressional Medal of Honor Winners Museum, where they tell John Chapman's story and everything. So if you're interested in not only hearing a patriotic kind of story, but just wanting to know what some of our servicemen and women actually did and put into the effort in Afghanistan, this will be an interesting film to follow. It's going to have Adam Driver and Anne Hathaway in it, so make sure you go to the movie theaters and watch.
So when is that going to be out? Do you have any idea?
Hopefully summertime 2026, maybe Christmas 2026, somewhere around there.
So you had mentioned that you did Fallout, and I was thinking about all those cool guns that were on there, but then you said Landman.
Yep.
Were you on the set of Landman at all?
I was not on the set, but we did prep and ship all of the props and all the weapons and stuff like that. It's one of our mainstay shows. We do a lot of the Taylor Sheridan shows. Lioness, of course, season 3 will be coming out and everything. Y Marshals is going to be a very exciting show. Unfortunately, I do have to say that a longtime friend of ours, the prop master on Y Marshals, just very recently passed away. Oh. He was in an automobile accident, and it's just been a huge loss to the industry and just professionally, and having a close friend, kind of exit your life like that under those circumstances. But Lenny Hancock, if you've heard of him or know of him, unfortunately he's no longer with us, but you can go back and see all the different shows and all the credits that he's had on the hours and hours of entertainment that you guys enjoy watching on television are thanks to people like Lenny Hancock, and he will be missed.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear the loss of your friend, and a tremendous loss to the art.
Absolutely.
Right? So when I'm hearing you talk about these shows, we sit at home, we love being able to binge these things. Yep. We get impatient, right? We're like, what do you mean there's only like 3 episodes and it's going to be another year before? And then to know really the work that goes into them behind the scenes, maybe we can be a little more patient, but...
it's hard for the viewing public to realize this when you walk into a movie theater and you sit down for 2 hours, let's say, and you watch a film. The 2 hours go by, and then you go out and you have a nice dinner or whatever you're going to do. But when you're making a film, you're literally filming seconds a day.
Yeah.
So we might work a 14-hour day doing all kinds of filming, but out of that effort of 14 hours, only 15 to 20 seconds of that day wind up in the final cut. And so the effort that goes into, that's why it takes 16 weeks to film a movie, and 16 weeks of prep, and 16 weeks of post on it and everything. And then you got special effects, and it could, like I said, it's kind of a time capsule. It could be a year or more sometimes before the viewing public sees the fruits of our efforts. And we, of course, at that point, we still love those projects, but we've already moved on to 2 or 3 more projects later on. So it is hard to understand the industry if you're not working in it,
Larry, we did a set on Batman versus Superman that was, it took a week.
Yep.
And there wasn't even 15 seconds on the film.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I did one job, and it was in Hawaii. It was a very difficult
poor
job.
Guy.
It was no, hear me out here. It was very difficult. It was
How
on
you
the
much
water.
suffer.
It was a Navy-related kind of movie, and so we were on rubber boats for like 18 hours a day, just kind of floating back and forth, and then you had to do the gun work and everything. And I was only supposed to be there for like 3 days, and I wound up being there for about 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then, when the movie finally came out, my wife and kids wanted to go see the movie that Daddy worked on, and so we go. And I don't, it's not that I didn't care, but I know what happens in the movie,
Yeah.
right? So I'm just kind of sitting there answering some texts on my phone, whatnot, and everything. And it gets to this one scene, and I kind of turn around, and here's my daughter, my son, and my wife, and they're all staring at me.
Oh.
There was less than 3 seconds made it into the final cut, and they're like, really? 6 weeks in Hawaii? Really? And I was like, I swear to God, man, I was working the whole time.
You
and
were
everything.
milking that job.
But yeah, it's a very, very strange industry. It's nothing at all like live theater performance. It's just little pieces that get kind of pieced together by the editor, who can really be the person that saves a show. You know, correct editing. You can film as much as you want, but if it's not edited correctly, you just don't wind up enjoying the show. And it is kind of a hidden world that the viewers don't see all the effort. You know how many birthdays and anniversaries and family get-togethers, and I missed on this last project. I missed Thanksgiving with the family and my son's birthday with the family, and you have to love the art in order to really kind of dedicate yourself to that. And when we see the viewing audience and they wind up enjoying the shows, and they write things on the internet about the guns from Fallout and stuff like that, that's kind of what keeps us going. That's the drive, and it is very rewarding.
So they don't say, Larry, when are you free?
Yeah.
I don't know. That free, that's a 4-letter word, isn't it? I mean, with my schedule,
starts with an F, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the way that goes. But then it's always great here to come back to SHOT Show. And SHOT Show, for the viewers, if they don't know what SHOT Show is, right, it's not just a big gun show. It's an industry event. So it's actually more important to network and meet people like yourselves and have meetings with people that you've dealt with maybe online and on the phone for a year, but you haven't been able to sit down face to face. And that's where most of the industry business actually happens, after parties at the SHOT Show. It's great to walk the aisles and see the products, but the personal touch, the personal connection is what is really worth coming to SHOT Show for.
So I have to ask you, out of all the years that you've been doing this, Larry, what was your most exciting production that you've done?
Oh my goodness, that's a good one. There's been so many of them. I would say that recently, at least, I'm going to answer that with 2 of them, by the way. One, of course, I may have mentioned this last year, but working with Quentin Tarantino, I was the lead armorer on Django Unchained.
Oh.
And he is just an amazing filmmaker. He's just an amazing personality, amazing filmmaker. It's a very, very different vibe on his sets compared to other sets. Not that there's anything wrong with other sets, but it's just he's unique.
Right.
He's truly unique. And then I would say, like this last project, Alone at Dawn, it's a true story. We're doing something and telling a story that really happened to our servicemen and women, and we're spreading that story out there so that more people hear of it and know of it. And I think that, to me, with my military background and everything, I think that's just very important. I think it's people should know about these things that have happened out there. So all of the lone survivors that we did in American Sniper, and now, of course, Alone at Dawn, those are the things that really stand out because they were true stories and they had an impact on people's lives.
And that Alone at Dawn, I see that touches your heart a little bit. There's some conflict in that movie, right?
It's going to be an interesting movie to see how it comes up. There's different versions of the story. Obviously, none of us were actually there. Right. There's a lot of historical reference work and kind of investigation that had to be done, because without telling the story before the movie comes out, it's something that happened to an individual. Nobody else was up there with that individual when it was happening. So there was a little bit of detective work that was required to even just be able to present it as a coherent story. And I think it'll be moving for the public, definitely moving for the military community when it comes out and everything. And hopefully they enjoy the fruit of our efforts.
Well, I mean, your resume is full of the public's favorites. So, I mean, the odds are definitely ever in your favor, right? Were you on that one? That's what is that one called? Hunger Games, that's
Hunger
right.
Games. So I wasn't on set for that, but we did provide all the props, so the bows and arrows that Katniss used and everything. Those were all prepped at our shop, yeah. And then we shipped it off, to the film location. But I wasn't on set for that one.
So Larry, so after like you make all the stuff for Fallout and stuff, do you just throw that stuff away and where's your garbage can at?
We will dumpster dive for those.
But then I'd have to kill you. So.
That's fantastic. Really, one last question that I have is, you've done all of this behind the scenes stuff, and then you've had these chances to do in front of the camera things like the Hollywood Weapons and the gun stories with Joe Mantegna. What was how did that happen? Like, what was the thing that was like, hey, I'm gonna do this totally different thing because I have 5 spare minutes on a Tuesday, I guess, with your busy schedule.
It really wasn't a decision that I made. I'll be honest with you. I was working as an armorer on a gun-related show that the Outdoor Channel was doing, and I assisted them with some stuff, and I gave them some recommendations, still behind the camera as the armorer. And that kind of kicked off something with some of the producers there. And they were like, hey, he can actually string 3 words together legibly. and he kind of seems to know, actually, like he knows what he's talking about and everything. And so they came to me with a couple of different options. It started very slowly, interviews here and there as a subject matter expert. And then, of course, Hollywood Weapons became a show unto itself. And I think, in my experience at least, like if you're into guns or you're into cars or you're into, ham radio, whatever it might be, if you truly are like a master of that craft, you know everything about it. You can fix guns, you can repair stocks and all that. Then it shouldn't really be a problem for you to stand in front of a camera and talk about it, because it's not. I don't get like camera shy or anything like that, because I know what I'm talking about. Right. Now don't ask me to talk about cars. I don't know. I mean, I get in the car and I use it, but I don't know how it runs, right? Yes. So I wouldn't put myself out there for something like that. Right. But when it's your field, and we do, armorers in the film industry, television industry, especially when we're dealing with historic projects like Alone at Dawn, we do it with a passion. Yeah. We have a passion for that, and it's very natural to want to share that passion with the viewing public, and of course doing interviews and media type events. That's the way the word gets out there. So absolutely. That's kind of how it happened.
So much fun. I really sometimes have to pinch myself that we get to be friends with the Larry Zanoff and all of the amazing experiences you've had and things that you've done and parts of our life that you are part of because of all of these amazing films.
Honestly, that to me is the most important part of it. I mean, your viewing public should know that we've done little interviews and stuff like that over the years, but we've become personal friends.
Truly.
And, we visit each other when we can and everything. And to me, that's the most important walk away from this is the personal connections, with the 3 of you. You're only seeing 2, but there's a 3rd person behind the camera that's doing a lot of the work. So, I mean, it wouldn't be SHOT Show if I didn't come see Cassie, Cheryl, and Todd.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Well, we do need to close out. But is there any final things you wanted to kind of pepper out there and let people get excited about? Or have we pretty much covered it? All
I would say is go buy a movie ticket and watch the movies. Get online, talk about your favorite show. There's all kinds of forums where you can write in stuff. Hey, I liked Landman. Or if you got excited about, the weapons in the television series Fallout, you should really look out for this, are identical to the ones in the video game themselves and everything. And so the fans of that franchise, talk about it, get the word out there, because that's what allows us to do the next season and the next season and the next season.
Oh, I can't stop watching Landman. I am going to be so disappointed if that ever closes up.
Yeah.
It's such a good show.
Great show, great writing, great performances by everyone. And that's what we want to turn out. We don't ever want to be working on a project where someone says, oh, that was a bad show, I didn't really like that, And when the entire crew, be it the props or the directors or the ADs, when they have a passion for the project they're working on, that's when it comes out looking like Landman.
Yeah.
Last question is, if you're like a new, boutique filmmaker, maybe, can I reach out to ISS? Like, how does that work?
So ISS is one of the few prop houses left in the industry. We do everything, we call it from rocks to rockets, and it doesn't matter the size of your production, doesn't matter if you're brand new or if you're a seasoned veteran. We're on the net, Independent Studio Services, or ISS. All you have to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm working on a project, I need some help, and you're welcome to come down to the prop house. We're all over the world now. We have brick and mortar buildings both in LA and Georgia as we had before. We're opening one up that's working in New York right now. We've got one in the UK as well as one in Budapest in Hungary. So no matter where you are, there's someone who can handle your order, and if we're not there actually physically in an office, we can always ship things to you.
Very well.
That's tremendous, and I like that we're giving people a resource through you.
Absolutely.
So tell folks how they can follow all that you do and how they could reach out to ISS.
You can always reach out to ISS at issprops.com. Very simple. It'll give you all the phone numbers and all the different departments and the paperwork that you need to get going and everything. As far as the shows that we do, IMDb is the best resource that's out there. Once you start like Landman, if you look at that and you say, hey, who is the director on that, because I really liked that show, then you can look up that director on IMDb and see all the other shows that he or she have done.
I'm on IMDb.
There you go. Yeah. And then, you can follow that along. And then you can always do like keywords on your Google alerts. So like, hey, next time new season of Landman's coming out, it'll alert you ahead of time and everything. And that way it gives the viewing public not just a way to track things, but it actually makes them involved in the industry and everything. And that's what we want.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you want to track all the things that Dan Todd's doing, I guess go to IMDb, because
the one thing.
the one thing he's got a credit for.
You know what, though? The important thing is the one time that you did it well, we did it safely, and it was a successful project. So whether it's one or whether it's 100, that's still the main reason to be out on set.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much for all you do.
Of course.
Thank you for always making time to sit down with us at SHOT Show. Keep the tradition rolling.
Yep.
And you out there, our amazing audience, thank you so much for tuning in to all of the work that Larry does, and also to our show. And stick around, because we've got tons more coming at you from the 2026 SHOT Show.